Everyone who takes my courses or becomes my patient has a task that we do first. I ask you, what drives you to succeed? Because you cannot do this on willpower alone. The original reason that I started keto was to help my mom. She'd had cancer for over 10 years and she wasn't healthy enough to do this by herself, and her willpower had wilted for a million other reasons at this point. Having cancer is difficult. Being my mom who had cancer was really difficult. And I was asking her to step it up and now give up a lot of her comforts in life, which had to do with food. The why about why I started keto meant a lot to me. And my mom's health motivated me more than anything else could have at the time. My why has changed a lot over time. If you've done this before, I challenge you to do it again with me right now. So the first question is the easiest, and it's to write down all the physical reasons that you want to improve. Usually weight loss or joint pain or inflammation or seizures. The physical reasons why people want to change is pretty easy to come up with, and this example shows you the top ones I get to hear. So the physical reasons are really easy. I wrote down weight loss, because what woman doesn't say that? But I also put down the mental clarity, the improved energy, and autophagy. Specifically, I really like what keto has done to my skin. Those physical reasons are the vanity that motivates anybody to start this. But if you're relying on this to carry you through, it's gonna fail. Medical reasons are not a strong enough reason why to sustain the changes and the temptations that happen when you're on the ketogenic diet. However, medical issues offer a starting place, but I want you to play forward. What happens if those medical issues don't go away? If they keep getting worse? If you have to bear the burden of what happens when your health fades? So for me, life with my sons and husband comes to mind first. But it's also that real part of being there for them, the way my mom is for me. So I wrote down not being a burden to my kids or my husband as I age. I also wrote down being present for them during those hard decisions in life that you can't always predict, and you definitely need to be there in the moment. This process gets you a little closer to the ultimate why, but it's still not the place we need to be. I want you to imagine the best moment of your life. What was the pinnacle? And I don't want you to play like, oh, this is what the world says should be the best moment of my life, like the birth of your children. I've had children. That birth day is not the best day. Now, maybe it is a moment that you can truly find in your mind. It is picture perfect. You can see the people that are with you, and it is really an intimate moment. But I want you to find that moment and write it down. Several moments came to mind for me. They are the day I got freedom, which was the day I had enough money to go to college. And I knew I wasn't going to end up on, at least I had a chance to not end up on the family farm forever. The second major moment is the day I knew that my husband was the right man for me. And I can remember the moment so clearly. I knew with my whole heart this was the right place for me. And the third moment that comes to mind is actually a prayer that I held with my sons because the dog had eaten the baby kitty and they were heartbroken. And I made them wrap up the baby kitty, and we had a funeral for the baby kitty, and all the boys prayed. And I know they remember the prayer. I think it's like the first prayer they ever remembered, but I was 100% present for that moment. And it's just one of my favorite moments. Although this is a fun exercise, this is still not always going to bring you to the most motivational moment of your life. That's where this next moment comes in. And I want you to close your eyes, take in a deep breath, let it out as you think about the worst moment of your life. And I want you to write that down. So my worst moment is when I'm standing outside a hospital. I'm with my brother and my mom's inside that hospital on a ventilator. And because of COVID, we were locked out. We got moments with her, but we couldn't be there to help the medical team do their best job. And they were overworked. And my mom had a blood clot. And the blood clot, it was one of about 10 major life problems. And I knew she was gonna die. Despite being in the best health of her life, she was gonna die. And that moment still brings tears to my eyes. It's the lowest moment of my life. I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't help her. And within 48 hours, she was dead. So this moment is what I attach my why to because of these. Because my voice is clearly emotional. I can hardly keep the tears in my eyes. It really connects to my soul. And I've tried to come up with different whys, and they don't last. As soon as I'm tempted, I say, no big deal. But when you can connect the reason why you're trying to improve a behavior to an emotion that's so deep in your soul, that's where my patients succeed. So I don't need to fast every week. I don't need to do the things I do every week, but I do them and I link it to, if I can leave this earth helping people improve their health, like I helped my mother, then I think that's a life well lived. And although that sounds very altruistic, it truly motivates me, but only because I link it to the legacy that my mother gifted me and that is so innate in who I am, that even when I'm tempted with peanut butter at 9 o'clock, I can say no if I remember this. So this moment should be very vulnerable. I was vulnerable here with you, and I'd love to hear what you use as your why. So in the comments below, please share your why. Do this exercise and find the moment that tugs at your heart.